Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 28 live feed spoilers. We should just be honest from the get-go here. Jess and I are surviving solely on the basis of the amount of caffeine we have had over the last 24 hours.
Pots and pots and pots of it. What an HoH battle that was.
Yep.
It was the wall comp. Man, I would be Angela. I'm out in 2 minutes or less. Watching Lala she is such a big physical threat. Truly, that woman is in such good shape. It makes me want to hit the treadmill, but not really, because I'm in my old lady era. I want to sit on the couch and play Elden Ring all night. However, watching her win this, it was really inspiring. I usually am rooting for the older contestants because I'm older too. So way to go. I'm just high-fiving myself,
No.
but that's for you, Lala.
No, listen, Lala deserves all the high fives. I've done my fair share of complaining about Lala this season, that she's not really doing much of anything, that, her storylines are all due to, house-related chores and all. But her doing that, I agree with you. It was inspiring, and I thought that was going to be like the peak of the craziness of this week.
Yep.
The past hour alone, I can't. Jess and I, we try to prepare for these videos as best as we can, but the problem is, how do you prepare for something when you kind of drill an idea into your head and then it changes 30 seconds later and then it changes 30 seconds? Like, there has been so much just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth here.
Yeah, as of this video, the feeds had not gone down yet for the nomination ceremony, and the past hour of waffling. It is Friday. How is this even happening? It has been incredible live feeds.
It's so good. It's so juicy. Like, we are going to take you through everything that is happening. What Lala's plan, at least for now, seems to be moving forward here.
But before we go any further, thank you so much to everybody who helped us get to 300,000 subscribers. It is wild. It's been a crazy journey.
Yep.
We had cake yesterday. It was so amazing. We have some pictures up on our Instagram, Matt and Jess TV. If you want to head over there and give us a follow, you can check that out. We're going to have some more. If you want to get to know us a little more personally, that is where we keep all of our photos. We post them up all the time so you can keep up with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. It is so very appreciated. Jess and I are still just like completely over the moon, like the adrenaline of hitting 300,000 plus the adrenaline of the wall comp. I'm not sure I'm going to sleep tonight either, if I'm being totally honest here. Okay, well, in order to properly tell the story of where we are right now with the nominations, we do have to hop into that time machine and go back to immediately after the episode last night.
Beep, bop, 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 boop. We're in the past.
Oh, it's Rick Devens. Everybody acting so shocked in the aftermath of this episode.
Yo, I thought it was hilarious yesterday. Like, so funny that they were all like, who could have done this? I'm like, guys, for real? Who's going to believe this? As it turns out, a lot of people.
Yeah, I did not. Dee and Angela, I can't figure out, is this a direct result of how amazing they are at pulling the wool over people's eyes, or is this a direct result of just how other players in the house may have some variation of rock rolling around in there? Because it
was a master class.
It was just insane how all of this kind of came together. Like, where Devens is out here basically owning his vote ultimately, and then you have Angela and Dee still running around acting as though, was there a miscommunication? Did something go really awry? And then you have Kamu's moving a little bit too strangely for the likes of Haley and Chuck, and they're starting to feel like Kamu has turned on them. They can't trust Kamu anymore. And maybe this was just Kamu. Kamu's just trying to be, I don't know, a class act about being, getting completely owned in this blind side. It's just the paranoia sent all of this red corner to their own corners and then up the wall.
It was so good.
It was, not even in my wildest dreams did I think we were going to get into some sort of scenario here where Kamu was just going to be cast off on his own separate island, and that like there was going to be, because Haley has grown close to Angela, and there is a little bit of a bond with Dee, that they would start to believe some of that. And just because Kamu has had conversations with Lyric, I don't know if it's because he's been close with Drew at times either, that it's like, you have too many other people. We do not trust you anymore.
Angela put a lot of work into that Haley relationship to be able to use it the way that she did. It was really well done. Well done.
Angela also deserves her flowers, because one of the things that Angela always does to her own game is gets really paranoid and throws out absolutely bonkers ideas that would never make any sense. So she started to be like, you know what? I'm going to use this on somebody else. Like, she even at one point suggested, hey, Haley, maybe Lyric broke some have-not rules and got like a penalty vote or something. Like, she got Haley's wheels turning to a level. Haley has talked about having bad weeks, but she looked like she was having the worst night of her life last night. She was going through it for hours and hours and hours.
Yes.
All of this is important when mapping out the Lala head of household win, because Lala is somebody who, she has been told things over the course of the season. It seems like she was told at the very, very last second what was going on with this vote. She has never been on the forefront of knowing much of anything that's going on in the house.
No, when she won this HoH, I was just like, this is going to be really interesting, a really interesting week, because nobody kind of knows where she lands on anything, because she's only really been working with Taylor.
Yeah,
and neither of them have really had any power.
Yeah, and one of the things that, I mean, we have been critical of the underdog side of the house here, where you have Melody, Mallory, we had Lyric, is just, they never fully unified. And I think because of that, there's a certain extent of Lala and Taylor who feels like they're on that side of the house, but are they really? And that's led to all of this disconnect, where on paper you would think that, all right, well, Mallory and Melody, they're going to be in there trying to influence things, when it's actually, they have not been the drivers of much of any of the gameplay over the past 24 hours here at all.
No.
It's instead gone in this scenario where Lala, for a big chunk of the day, she's actually known who she wants to be her ultimate target here.
Yeah, the ultimate target here is Haley. And, I feel like much of the fandom is probably like, all right, let's go. We're fine with that.
Yeah, and that will be fine. And it will be very, very fun. The question, of course, is,
how do you get there?
How do you get there? What are some of the moves that Lala is going to make? And so this is where things have gone completely all over the place.
Yes.
She had a few conversations starting last night where she was trying to put some pieces together and figure out what's the best way to go about doing this. Because, Haley, she has won a competition. I don't think we can say she's some challenge beast or whatever, but you put her on the block right away, it does give her 2 chances to try to save herself. And initially, that was not something Lala was all about here at all.
No, I mean, the thing is yeah, she's won a competition, but nobody yet is really like, they're the challenge beast. Everybody's won kind of something around, like it's spread out this season.
Yeah, it really, really is. And also, they're trying to make the comps equitable. I'm not saying that they're going to be perfect at this at all, but they're trying to make it so that there is a little bit of randomness. But initially, her thought process is, I will put up Kamu, I will put up Drew, I will put up Barrett. And an idea behind some of this is that these are people who I feel like, at the very least with Kamu and Drew, like, they're going to go out there, they're going to give the veto a good fight. There's a good chance one of them may end up winning it, and then that will enable me this opportunity to put Haley on the block, and then she will have some strong competition going into the blockbuster comp as well.
Yeah, I mean, I said this yesterday. My worry was that Drew was just going to end up going up over and over and over and over again. So when this first was popping up last night, I was like, man, I was very excited for you, Lala, win this HoH. And then, of course, the first name that's being floated out here to get out Haley is Drew.
Yeah, and ultimately, I know that Drew doesn't necessarily have the closest relationship with Lala in the world.
Nope, so it does make sense.
Yeah, but at the same time, Lala, don't do this to us. We already went through the emotion. We're still going through an emotional roller coaster with Drew right now that we'll get to a little bit later in this video, but she was really thinking a lot about this. Then, of course, things change. People start thinking about other possibilities. And while I wouldn't say Taylor is a co-HoH per se,
I would say that. I'm saying that she is the co-HoH.
she does have a lot of sway, like a lot of sway. And Lala did think about the possibility of, is this a time to go ahead and consider nominating Devins? And her thought process here is what he did to Rome. Despite the fact that Rome didn't protect Lala, she has still not let go of the fact that Rome, the king of the underdogs, if you will, left the house at Devins. Taylor had to be like, no. Let's not do
Who
this.
cares? No, who cares about Rome? That is old news.
Very, very old news, but there is a lot of paranoia still that Devins may have a power. It's basically not a secret to anybody else in the game at this point.
Well, of course. I mean, America's been voting all these different weeks. They've only seen one punishment. So, like, yes, there's got to be powers that are floating around this house.
And in the midst of all of this, a lot of us at home watching the feeds, we're all kind of like, why are you just not putting up Kamu and Chuck? Why are you not doing that? And initially it seemed like there was some sort of agreement there that Chuck was not going to be going up, but ... a little bit more on that later. Lala had her plan. She was going to stick with it. And then you have more conversations going into today.
Yes.
So Barrett, to the surprise of no one who does not want to ruffle any feathers whatsoever, is just like, okay, I wouldn't want to go on the block, but if that's something you really, really need, let's do it. Let's just kind of make it happen.
All right.
Yeah, nobody's that excited about that. Okay, but Drew, I will give Drew a little bit credit. He gets informed of the plan. He pushes back a little bit because he does propose, what if this thing happens here where I'm on the block, Kamu wins the veto, Haley goes up as a replacement nominee. Haley wins the blockbuster. I'm sitting there with Barrett on eviction night. Barrett's probably going to stay over me, and then my goose is cooked.
Absolutely. And I'm really glad that he brought the scenario up.
Lala's response, that's not going to happen.
Oh,
She didn't really give Drew a whole lot of solace.
But at least he tried, and he did need to bring it up.
No, he did absolutely need to bring it up. He did his best in order to present, some sort of evidence that this could be really, really bad for me. I think maybe it was tucked away somewhere in the back of Lala's mind.
Yes.
But then we get to Kamu, because it feels like Kamu has spoken to Lala about 800 times over the course of the past day.
Yes, and he's actually been able to influence this quite a bit. It was actually quite shocking how well he's been able to maneuver the situation.
Yeah, it really, really is. Like, I'm not the biggest Kamu fan in the world. I think we've made that abundantly clear at this point. But one of the things with Kamu, he is pretty relentless in getting his point across. And at first, he sort of accepted this idea of, all right, Lala, you know what? I will go up there. If you need me to do X, Y, or Z, I will do X, Y, or Z. But then sort of this group campaign starts to form here, because one of the other people who was actually on the outside of this vote was Yashu. Once again, he's decided today that he's going to look as though he's a potential player in the game. Whether or not that remains the case just remains to be seen here.
I legit forget that Yash is in this game most of the time. I'll be honest with you guys.
Yash is the ultimate, I don't know if you are okay at the game or you are terrible at the game, because my opinion on this subject changes every 30 minutes.
Yeah, I just feel like the fact that nobody's looking at him is because he is kind of an invisible non-threat.
Yeah, like he will make some salient points and then he'll follow it up with a lot of nonsense. And like, that's one of the problems here. But one thing that is kind of clear is that Yash and Kamu are kind of on the same page about some things here, where they're both very, very suspicious of what Dee and Angela have going on. And immediately after the votes and everything played out last night, Kamu already started his rampage of sorts in the house. Like, he was running around telling Mallory and Melody, don't worry, guys, I'm not going after you anymore. If I win HoH, Angela and Dee, they're going to be in some trouble. And maybe Chuck too, because I feel like he's turned his back on me.
Yeah, it feels like Kamu is out, and he is out on all of this tool shed. He is upset at the whole ball. Like,
Yeah,
it's wild. And if Kamu is really going to end up sticking with this, it is early, and he kind of ends up just moving to this other side of the house. He could be the new Rome, where he's got all the underdogs and they're all pushing forward. Is he the person who's going to unite them?
it's something
What
on
is happening here?
my brain. I'm having a hard time following it up because my brain can't process it. It's so unbelievably bizarre that he would go from being like this huge component to this one alliance to just because of one vote, which really, when you are left out of a vote and you're blindsided on national television,
Yes.
you should be really upset about it. And you should be like, I want to try to make something happen. Now,
And you should be worried. If you
yes.
are being blindsided by your own alliance, then they are not your alliance.
Yeah, and I mean, Kamu's not right about everything. Like, he's not right to be super paranoid about Chuck and all these different components.
No.
But he is right to try to figure out a way to figure something else out here in the game. And if that
Yes.
something is, I need to find a way to work closer with Taylor and Lala. I got to do whatever I can to make that happen because Kamu knows who was in the tool shed
Mhm.
officially, and all Taylor and Lala have are suspicions, word of mouth, whatever Ashley said week 1, so on and so forth. He can be like to them, and he was like to them. I was a part of this big alliance, but guess what? After the events of last night, I'm not with them
Wild.
anymore. Like, let's try to really, really make something happen. And there are some pretty unique ways in order to do that.
Yeah, and they're listening.
Yeah, so at one point, we started to get the nominations morphed to where, all right, now Kamu's not going on the block anymore. He has somehow managed to talk himself off. Now we're going to have Chuck is going to be going up there, and then you have Drew, and then you have Barrett, which
Yes.
was kind of like, okay.
And Haley was still the target.
Yeah, it's like, okay, sure. You can do that. That's fine, but it still doesn't actually solve the problem here of you could just be in a situation where Drew and Barrett are just kind of
That's
stuck
right.
there together at
Yeah.
the end. Like, what do you want to do then?
Yeah.
So here is where we are with it now. As of this recording, Kamu has seemingly convinced Lala that here is going to be the new idea. You're going to nominate Chuck. You're going to nominate Haley. You're just going to go ahead and do that, not
Yep.
save her for replacement nominee. And then you can put up Barrett. And that's sort of the configuration you can go for. Because in Kamu's mind, either you're getting rid of one of these people who conceivably turn their backs on him, or you're getting rid of somebody in Barrett who is close to D, not a number that you can fully work with long term here.
Listen, I know that it was chaos yesterday and Haley's talking crap and so was Chuck and all of this, but it is wild that this is where we ended up because originally we had the other side, the vets that were like, you know what, we'll keep Drew so that if Drew ends up, winning something, he'll go after the red corner. And here comes in Kamu, who is like, hold my beer. I'm going to go after my own alliance that I started with the three of us. And I'm going to make sure that Chuck is up there. I'm going to make sure that Haley is up there. I couldn't believe what was happening.
Like, okay, here's my tinfoil hat on some of this with Kamu, is that maybe deep down, he really just wishes it could be D and it could be Angela at this point, but he knows that Taylor and Lala, they're not going to go for that as like initial nominees. Like, he doesn't know that, D and Angela have one of many fake alliances going on with Lala and Taylor. Like, I think it's called the Social Club or something. Listen, I don't keep track. I don't have a dossier of all the fake alliance names
No.
going around in my head, but I think he might be aware that there are certain targets that can't be got at this point. But at the same time, if he knows he needs to pivot from these people, why not go ahead and make the move now? Like, this could be a total disaster for Kamu a week, 2 weeks down the road, but it's just like, hey, I mean, I may not be your fan, but I will give you a lot of credit for like trying really, really hard here.
There's a lot of votes over on that other side of the house right now, to be honest, that are up for grabs. They're not able to pull themselves together. If Kamu can go over there and pull that whole group together, that whole group can next week end up going after the vets if he's not able to convince them to throw a vet up there as a replacement.
Well, this is the interesting thing. After the eviction last night, I think it was pretty easy to all kind of collectively convince ourselves that, all right, here is going to be the new power group. We're going to have the icons. We're going to have Drewlity. Drew and Melody are going to be there together. We're going to have Barrett. We're going to have Mallory. But like one HOH win from a different person who's a little bit unexpected can really, really change things.
Yes.
Especially when that person can make some effective points, including that how much should we trust here Dee and Angela, who are being really, really sketchy. You know, some people know about what they did. Some people don't know. They've lied to other. It's just like there's a lot of distrust there. There's a lot of paranoia there long term. Everyone also knows that Rick Devens is a pretty big threat in his own right.
Absolutely. It's still wild to me that we are this far in and not one vet has hit the block.
Yeah, like there is a lot of fear there, a lot of concern there. And ultimately, this is where Kamu has brought up this idea now that, all right, well, if somebody wins the veto, we can make an even bigger swing. We can put up Dee. We can put up Angela. We can try to find a way to make that happen. Do I believe deep in my heart that that's going to happen? Probably not, at least not for this week.
Okay, I have my hard hat on. I'm actually pretty worried about it because Kamu has convinced Lala and of a lot in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And because this side of the house has never had power until now, they don't exactly know what they want to do with it. I mean, Lala has talked to Taylor and has talked it out to figure out what she wanted. She has gone completely away from what she originally was going to do to exactly what Kamu wants her to do. So once the veto is played, like if it's going to get played and somebody comes down, that is a lot of time for Kamu to spend with Lala to get her on board and to really convince them that he is with them. And I am starting to get convinced that he's really with them. He's just put up the entire red corner through this HOH. He is not with them anymore. So I feel like he has, to me, really laid it out on the table of like, this is what was going on with this alliance. I'm not with them anymore. Throw them all up in the block. I am showing you that I am not with them. I am riding with you. That I feel like if he can continue that, he can get a vet on the block.
Okay, we're covering House of the Dragon here at the channel, so I think here is a novel comparison. Is Kamu Aegon this season, where he's just been sort of kicked out of King's Landing? He's out here on the road trying to find some people. You know, I won't spoil what happens later on in the season, but it just feels like Kamu doesn't have anyone anymore, and he's trying to find some new people who can be on his side, and he's having to put himself in a pretty desperate position in order to do that.
Yep.
This is where we get to Drew, and as a Druther, I know you're still pretty worried, like Lala's talked about still, there is a possibility that Drew is the replacement nominee this week, not necessarily the target. I think Kamu wants to keep that from happening because we know once upon a time, Drew and Kamu, they had this handyman final two.
That's right.
I think he feels like he can pull Drew back in, and if he gets Drew, maybe he can get Melody, and if he gets Melody, maybe he can get Mallory. Like, yes, he is thinking very, very far ahead, and a lot of this probably would not happen for him, but he is connecting a lot of the dots here.
I feel like some of it possibly could, honestly. I mean, this is the part of the game where people should be looking at getting the vets out. Like, yes, I understand that there are powers out in the game. It is time to flush that out. You do not want that to be continuing on any deeper into this game. I'm not saying all the vets have to go, but at least one of them has to go if you want to have any shot at winning this. And the thing with Drew is yes, he is very loyal to the vets right now, but I think deep down in his heart, he knows it too. He can't be sitting at the end with Rick Devens. He loses.
I think a lot of the newbies, as maybe not Barrett, but a lot of the other newbies, like deep down,
Barrett is lost.
Yeah, they all have a similar thought process. Like I've heard Taylor and Lala even talk about this, where I think they feel like the vets have some value for them until jury. I mean, it's something that they can work with for now. They all know about these powers as well. I mean, maybe in the back of their heads, they're presuming they got to have an expiration date. I mean, little do they know that BB bribe thing D has can be used at like literally any time.
No, flush them out.
Flush
Flush them
them
out.
out.
Like what? Like, oh my goodness, this is giving me like back to Survivor when Rizzo was just
Yeah.
sitting on this idol every single tribal and everybody knew it. And it's just
Yeah.
like, flush it out.
Yeah, like it is something that it just makes sense to try to make it happen. And now, okay, here's I think where things could get very, very interesting this week is if we're going to look ahead to after the veto ceremony. Let's say Kamu actually is able to convince Lala that all this stuff needs to happen, and then Angela is the replacement nominee. Is Devon's going to use a Diamond Power veto?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. He has said he would use it on D, and
Yep.
obviously he would use it on himself. But here's the other crazy thing about this, though, is that if Chuck and Haley are both, for whatever reason, still on the block, like let's say Barrett wins the power of veto, the two people who conceivably Devons would want out are already up there. He can't leave D necessarily up there. You don't want to take that
No.
risk, but who do you then put on the block alongside them? Like, that is the part of, do you just go ahead and, you know, if Kamu's not playing and if he doesn't win it or whatever, you go ahead and throw him up there. It's just, there's a lot of scenarios where this week gets really somehow even more complicated and messy.
Yeah, Big Brother, it's finally started.
It is really, really, and this is the thing. All of the, I listen, guys, the caffeine crash out is coming here. But all right, here's the other part of it is that Haley and Chuck, to some degree, they are so obsessed still with the aftermath of the vote last night.
Yes.
Haley has not done anything all day. Like, she has done nothing to prevent her chances of going up on the block. Like, she is stuck in her head on the inquisition that needs to happen to get to the bottom of what really went down last night.
Which is one of the reasons that this reality show is so interesting and so fascinating and so compelling to watch, because all you have to do in this house is think yourself to death. And
Yes.
it really does drive people mad.
All right. Well, it's so crazy today that we've made it more than 25 minutes. We haven't even talked about the power vote here and
Yep.
what could be going on. So there's already a lot of speculation about, I don't want to go down this road with Drew again. We went through all of this.
Drew, no, I am not going down this road with you again. Absolutely not.
Drew was in the diary room for a very long time
Yes.
this afternoon. Now, a lot of us assumed that it would be Mallory, that Mallory was getting a lot of votes because she wasn't on the block. Before we got into this recording, Melody went into the diary room. The camera focused on her in a way where all the wheels are, it's like, I
I
didn't
don't
even
think
vote
she has it.
I didn't even vote for Melody this week. And I am Melody's number one fan. And I don't think she has it. But okay,
No.
here is what we can say for the time being is that if somebody had a punishment, and if they do this the same way they've done it every week so far, they're revealing to whoever's getting the coin, not the coin of destiny, who's ever getting the time capsule.
Drew.
They're going in there before the nomination ceremony.
Right.
If they had a punishment,
Mhm.
whoever had it would be going out of the diary room being like, check out my costume, or,
Right.
you know, I have to do this. It's something that you make pretty clear. Now, beyond all that, if you have the worst power by far, which is the never not pass, are you going to keep that secret? I feel like you're also going to come out and be like, I don't have to be a have-not anymore. I mean, what's everybody going to do? Oh, we're going to get rid of you because you don't have to be a have-not?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that can be revealed whenever, honestly. If someone's like, oh, you're going to be on Slop this week. Actually, I have this pass.
Yeah.
Whatever then is going to be like, how dare you not say that you have this? It's such a nothing.
Yeah, so if we're to kind of narrow everything down here, then whoever has a potential power, Drew or Melody or whoever, you know, it could be the coin of destiny, mystery competitor, one of these different things. It's like if Drew was actually hitting the block and he had the coin of destiny, I think you could make a case that he's going to go ahead and use it. But based on kind of who we all think are the favorites to go in there and get everything alongside who we believe the nominees are going to be,
Mhm.
I don't think anybody is going to use the coin of destiny in order to save Barrett at this point, especially when
No.
Barrett's been told he's a pawn. I think he does believe it. And also, he needs to see the block because he has been too wishy-washy and not really given people a lot of senses to his loyalty other than D.
Listen, even hitting the block, I still don't think we're going to see much out of Barrett. I just don't.
No, and obviously he's not getting a power. I don't think we have to worry about that in the slightest.
No, and I think he just knows that he's safe. Nobody's really coming after Barrett at this point. It's kind of a wasted eviction.
Yeah, I think coming out of today, there's going to be a lot of people who feel like, all right, Lala, your HOH so far has been too messy. You're letting all these different people pull you in different directions. And like, is that partially true? Yes. But at the same time, Lala was not winning the game before this. She didn't have really any resume to speak of.
Listen, I'm going to say that while, yes, there are other people in her ear, she's obviously got Taylor there, who she was working with. Now she has Kamu. Kamu is a brand new card in this game
Yeah.
that actually brings a lot to the other side of the house's table. I just, I'm not the biggest Kamu fan, but at the same time, yeah, Lala didn't feel like she was going to the end and winning this game. Now I'm kind of like, she's got life in this game for sure. She's definitely going further if she actually has Kamu, and Kamu is the new Rome of this side and is pulling everybody together. This other side has a chance, a way better chance, because somebody's actually trying to bring them together.
The real winners right now are us. All of us. Collectively, like, we don't want to see some dominant side every single week. It's much more competitive. Like, this game is a million times more interesting now than it was 2 weeks ago, because it feels like things are going to shift and bounce back and forth. And like, I'm so unbelievably excited to see where all of this goes after nominations, what sort of crash outs we have. If Haley's on the block, that is going to be next level.
Absolutely. It is much more fun when there is a back and forth between the different sides of the house. The steamroll is not for me. It's nice that the steamroll is over and now things are kind of splitting up. And that's why I'm kind of like, hey, Big Brother is kind of beginning now. There's like some, unfair powers in the house. Everything is splitting up into smaller groups that are all going to go after each other. It's way more exciting.
Okay, well, let's just turn this over to you guys. What do you think about Lala being HOH? What this nomination plan could be? What's your prediction for the end of the week? Let us know. Follow us on Instagram, Matt and Jess TV, to be a part of our 300,000 subscriber celebration. We really, really appreciate that.
Thank
we
you.
will see you here next time.